Hey everybody, welcome to Michael's Magical Mystery Hour. And here I am. Hi. So welcome to Comms vNext, lovely tropical Denver, Colorado. So the name of the show, Michael's Magical Mystery Hour. So I'm in Australia like 2 weeks ago. And Eric Marcy, the producer of this, who put all this magical things together, calls me and I'm like, okay, I'll answer a phone call from Eric while I'm on the other side of the world. And he's like, Mike, are you doing the podcast at Comms vNext? I'm like, what podcast at Comms vNext? And he goes, we're doing podcast at Comms vNext. Are you going to do one? I'm like, sure. What's the name of it? I just agreed 2 seconds ago. I don't have a name. Michael's Magical Mystery Hour. We'll just call it that. And he's like, good, done. Are you going to have any guests? I'm like, I don't know. Jimmy, Traci? I don't know. He's like, done, booked. Talk to you in 2 weeks. I hadn't asked Jimmy. I hadn't asked Traci. I hadn't asked anyone. I'm just like, Eric had things on his mind. He had to get it done. And so here we are. And here we are. I'm with Traci Herr. Hi, Traci.
Hello. I'm Traci Herr from Microsoft, Senior Escalation Engineer, working on Teams devices and all the good Teams voice things that go along with devices.
How's your Comms vNext been? Has it been fun or has it been like, eh?
It's been amazing. It always is. There's always great food, always great sessions. I mean, I've learned more here in 2 days than I have in the past year.
How do you learn things? You already know everything.
Hey, they've got some great sessions here. People are smart here, and they're teaching good things.
Yeah, it's where you get into the things you don't live in, like Viva and Loop and those kind of things, where is not part of, like we're mostly in the Teams devices area.
Yeah.
And so we kind of know that, a little dip in the toes of Copilot, but so have you gone to some of those sessions?
Of course. Co-pilots everywhere.
Also with us is Jimmy Vaughan, the man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, there I am. Traci, it looked like you had a fake background behind you and everything else.
You got it too.
I got it too.
So Jimmy, who are you?
My name is Jimmy Vaughan. I'm a partner technical specialist here at Microsoft, specializing in Teams rooms. We all do a lot together with Teams rooms and everything else. So.
What does a partner technical specialist do?
So what I do is I'm actually responsible for helping Microsoft partners understand, number one, what are Teams rooms, number two, how they deploy Teams rooms, and technically what Teams rooms are and what different technologies they need to use. You know, we can't talk about Teams rooms, anything Microsoft, without talking about Copilot. So when you talk about those kind of things, how does Copilot get into the rooms? How do we actually enable all these things? That's where my job really comes in enabling the partners on every single technology. How does Loop actually work into Teams rooms? How do I actually get Outlook and Exchange and all of these different technologies together so that when we're in shared spaces, it works seamlessly?
I'm glad we've gone under 3 minutes and mentioned Copilot about 9 times already. Yeah. So answer some of those questions for me, Jimmy. How do we get Copilot into a Teams room?
How do we get? Well, you know, we just did the session where we can actually start to identify people, not only by their faces, but also voice recognition as well. And this is an opt-in service that we have at Microsoft that you can register your voice. Now, I say opt-in because, again, your tenant has to be enabled so that we can opt in, not only for your facial recognition, but also your voice as well. And then we keep that data securely inside of the tenant. And when you walk into a room, when you speak, some of that technology has the ability to actually identify you. Now, why is it important?
Why is that important?
Think about when Copilot actually does the meeting recap where we go through things. It's not only important what is said inside of all these meetings, it's important who said it. Because if the data doesn't understand this is the person that said it, it may not actually attribute everything the right way. Think about when we have a meeting, Traci, and I say, hey, Traci, you've got to do a full deck for Intune and conditional access and everything else. What if it didn't know who Traci was? What if it didn't know who I was? How is Copilot or some sort of artificial intelligence going to automatically do that sort of task recognition if we're in a shared space? So not only do we have to do it on the personal devices, like we all think about it and we all know about it and everything else, the shared space becomes even more important because we can't have the workflow drop just because we're in.
So let me break this down. You're saying that I can go into a Teams room and a shared space, not signed in as anyone. I just walk my happy self into the conference room, start speaking, and it knows who I am?
If you have opted in for all of the services and everything else, that's the possibility that we have. And that's what I'm trying to teach people here, partners, customers, everybody to start to understand where does this journey start, how do we enable it, and what's the end result that we all get from it.
And then the payoff, Teams knows who I am. I just walked in, didn't sign in. It knows who I am. And then Copilot does stuff with that.
Copilot does stuff. That's data that we can actually trap on and we can actually use inside of that meeting. Like I said, for action items. What if we have an agenda inside of the meeting or something like that? Again, how are we going to know that we actually, the person that was responsible for that agenda item is actually there and taking responsibility for it if your voice and all voices inside of that room are attributed to an anonymous room itself?
So when's this stuff coming? This seems space age futuristic, voice detection, devices, Copilot. What are we looking at?
We're in the now.
Second half of this year, is that when it's coming?
We're in the now.
Is this under
and
NDA?
We're starting. There's nothing under NDA about it. Actually, the voice recognition and facial recognition is in your Teams client right now.
Wait, it's here today?
It's signed, correct.
This seems like space age.
No, this is good stuff.
So the future is here today?
This is good stuff.
It's pretty good. How's your Pokemon Go going?
It's going well. It's going well, but
What level are you in Pokemon Go?
I am 44.
Is that good?
I think so.
Is there a top level?
I don't know.
Come on, you got to be the guy. I mean, come on.
I don't know. Yes, I play. I'm not one of these guys that
It's not driving your life.
No.
So level 44 could be the top level and you don't even know
Let's be
it.
real. It is here.
Yes.
Right now. So.
Have you caught any good critters here in Denver?
I have not.
Okay, but you've been working. You haven't been playing.
I've been working, and on the way to dinner last night, I did put some of my guys inside a gym, so I got my 50 coins for the day, and so on and so forth. So.
It was a good. It was a good day. How's your comms next been? Just to be clear, we did a session like an hour ago.
We did. We actually did the Teams Rooms Roadmap session, and for those of you that were in attendance, Michael and I like to have fun when we do things and everything like that. So what we did was we do PowerPoints all week long. I mean, we can do that off, standing on top of our head. But what we did was we actually took all of the elements of Teams rooms that are new, and we put it into a Jeopardy style game. And what we did was we had the audience ask questions, or pick a category and pick a level and everything like that.
Like inclusive for
Correct.
$200 or whatever.
$200, and then we showed what the answer was in true Jeopardy format, and then they had to tell us what that technology was. Now, it's a different style of teaching, Michael, and it's one of these things that I found doing this for a couple of sessions and everything else. People don't always have the answer because they're used to us doing the
work,
PowerPoints,
right?
Where we just give you information and they absorb that information.
Just a brain dump from us to you.
Now we're actually doing this, and it's funny because a lot of people don't have the answer, and I don't discredit anyone for getting these answers wrong and everything like that, because again, we are asking you for the name of that technology, and we're leading you a little bit with some of the questions that we do and everything like that, but it's a different way of actually thinking that a lot of people haven't done, but I think it helps reinforce all of the technology that we have there. And we got great feedback, and there's a lot of sponsors here. You and I went around to booths. I asked people from Microsoft to bring some things. We had some unique prizes. We had prizes for everybody that showed up, and anybody that raised their hand, even if they got the answer wrong, we gave them something.
And they're good prizes. So it's Jimmy's deck. We started off with Jimmy's deck that he's done a few times. I then took it and made it a little more Jeopardy-like, a little more riddle of the answers as opposed to straight ahead, to the point where Jimmy wrote the questions. He looked at me a few times like, I don't know the answer to this one. I'm like, it's your question, Jimmy. I just rewrote it. I mean, if you don't put Justin Timberlake into a question somewhere, have you really done a Jeopardy question?
But let's talk about that deck, because I grabbed it from a company called Slide Lizard. And 100%, this deck is amazing. And the guys at Slide Lizard, I made contact with them. I sort of worked with them.
You say that like it's a UFO. I've reached out and I made contact with the Slide Lizard.
Correct. Well, these guys have been great. So, Jeopardy, I think they have Family Feud, they have Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, they have all these different ways of gamifying learning. And that's the key that we're really doing here, is making it fun and putting a game to it. You and I have done Kahoot sessions with some things like this, but we want to make it fun. And the guys at Slide Lizard have been great. I highly suggest if anybody wants to have fun with training, reach out to them. They have a whole bunch of opportunities. They're happy to talk to you and happy to actually provide some of these sessions like we do.
Yeah, and so just people raise their hand. They got to pick a category and a dollar amount. Some of them were daily doubles, and so you got headsets, a couple $100 prizes.
Yeah.
For the lower end ones, I brought in some chips from the Philippines and chocolates and golf balls from
Stickers and
Logitech and
golf
stickers from
balls. I
Microsoft
got
and
some
whatever.
golf balls.
So we had those as giveaways. But the thing was, it really doesn't matter if they know the answer. I mean, ultimately, yeah, we gave some prizes, but you got prizes if you got the answer wrong anyway. After then, the I guess technically the question came up, whatever the Jeopardy thing is. We then talked for anywhere from 1 to 4 minutes,
Fully
talking about
explain it.
why this matters, what does this mean, and my favorite part was then we'd pause at times because people would then ask questions. So there'd be a couple times it's like people say, "Hey, I got a follow-up question on this. Let's have a discussion."
Let's have a discussion. That's what the whole thing is about. Is let's openly have this discussion about the roadmap. We're not here just to lecture and talk. Let's have some true conversations. Because if they don't understand it, they can't help customers with it.
Or even if they are the customer, they can't. Hey, how do I? Hey, Scott, you went to Commsverse. What'd you learn? A bunch of stuff, but I don't really remember. It's like what was the point? It's better. Like, okay, there were a couple things I saw on that Jeopardy game show thing that I want to go back. Somebody came up and drilled down onto the team's casting. They weren't familiar with it. It's like they're going to go home now and play with it and hopefully explain it to their coworkers. And it's like, oh my God, did you guys know you can just join an ad hoc Teams meeting in like 3 seconds?
I don't need
4 seconds,
any
just
outside
go.
peripherals. I don't need any outside technology. It's all in Teams itself. And since I have a Teams room inside of the room, I can now share with that device.
So Traci, you've been sitting there quietly.
I thought it was great, the whole Jeopardy. It's a different learning style. It's a different teaching style. People are going to absorb that information differently. And I mean, good. Because everybody hates death by PowerPoint, I swear. For years we've hated it, and we still keep doing it to people.
Yeah.
So how did your session go? I feel like a complete idiot because I just missed it. I didn't put it on my agenda, and I swore I did. I swore I went through the thing. I'm like, Traci, because 100% of the time, I want to go to your sessions. 100% of the time, I clearly don't. So what was your session about here at Comes vNext?
So we did, it was a panel session. It was empowering women in tech. And we had Caruana and Lori and Joy and Sherry and me. And I'm not going to say last names because I'm tired. But everybody was great. We had some questions. We all had our own different answers and our own perspectives. And we're all at different levels in our career. So it was very good and well received. We all got a lot of compliments on it. And we had a good attendance. So.
And didn't you do a phone session as well yesterday?
No.
No? So I didn't miss your session. You didn't you just did the women in teams? Or?
I didn't do any technical content this year.
Oh, okay, so then I feel better now because I felt like the biggest idiot because you have such great sessions, and I always learned so much at your sessions. I'm like, I felt bad, but
don't worry about it.
I still feel bad I missed the women in teams, right? Just to be clear, but
I was focused on diversity this year because my technical content isn't ready yet.
Ready like to be shown publicly, or ready because you just have so many updates to do?
It's not generally available yet, so I can't fully speak about it, but I can talk about some of it.
What can you partially talk about? And start with AOSP and what's coming to Teams devices.
Okay, so for everybody who's listening, just to back up a tiny bit, we're talking about Intune, and our current device platform for Teams Android devices is called Android Device Administrator. This platform they've been trying to deprecate this for years. Google hates it. They've been trying to kill it
and it's
for
Google's,
years.
it's just to be fair, it's Google's technology.
Google's
They're just
technology.
like, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There's better ways, people.
Yeah. So finally, we have this new platform called Android Open Source Project. You will see it if you look in your Intune admin portal and under enrollment. And it's just a different platform that you can enroll a device under, an Android device, specifically our Teams devices. So if you look into that area of Intune and you create a brand new AOSP policy, and this is available for everybody right now, became available a couple weeks ago. You'll see a little slider that says Teams devices preview. So that's going to be how we enable this platform and enroll our devices under this platform.
So why is this better? Like, what was wrong with Device Administrator? And is it just because it's old? or were there limitations to it?
I know that there's some limitations with the serial number and marking devices, whether they're corporate versus personal devices. Beyond that, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, because all I know is that companies, Intune companies, security, whatever, they don't want to turn it on.
Yeah.
That's all I know, because is they're like, no, we don't want that. That's old.
Well,
and the new way is better.
To be fair, Intune administrators for years have been working to get all of their Android cell phones off of Android device administrator platform and enrolled into the Android Enterprise for Work platform, because that uses the Google Store and Google Management and all of that good Google stuff for the Android cell phones. Our Teams devices can't use that, so
Because there's no Google Play Store installed.
right, no Google Play Store. We can't have it contacting Google for anything.
So that was kind of the technological challenge, is how can we get off the old version and manage them without having, and nothing wrong to Google here, but on a Teams device, it should be hyper locked down to just a handful of things, and the Google stuff. You're not going to install another app onto your phone. You're not going to install Angry Birds on your phone. So all the Google stuff needs to go.
That's right. You don't want
Can I install, just to be clear, can I install Angry Birds on my phone?
No,
Okay.
you cannot. You better not try either. So beyond the Intune, what I just spoke about in the admin portal, we have just the message center. If you're listening to this, please go into admin.microsoft.com, microsoftonline.com, is that what it is? The admin portal for M365. Go into your message center and search for Android. You will find the AOSP post about this, what's coming. It's almost here, what you need to get ready for. It's going to give you a lot of information. And yes, this is a huge change for all Teams devices. So
So a couple of questions or thoughts here. All Teams devices includes like Jimmy and I's Teams Rooms world. So Teams Rooms on Android.
yes,
And then phones, displays, and panels.
correct. It does not include MTR on Windows. It's just all of the Android devices.
And you said it's a huge change. Can you like summarize like what? So it's going to come in a firmware update, or what's kind of going to happen? How do I move? So I've got like 300 phones on device administrator today. What do I need to do so they can sign in like a week and I don't have a big outage or whatever?
Read the message center post.
Read the message center post. I don't. I have a Traci.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I have a Traci handy,
Yeah.
and so she prevents me. She doesn't prevent me. She provides color to the message center post that I don't get by reading a paragraph.
Yeah, so in the public information, in the Message Center post, and probably something on the tech communities pages, it'll explain that, yes, this is going to, not just what you have to do in Intune, but also the devices are going to need a firmware update. And firmware does not get created by Microsoft. It gets created by each manufacturer individually for all of our Teams devices. So Yealink, Poly, HP, Audio Codes, and Logi, and everybody else. Did I forget any? Lenovo? No.
But are they Yealink, EPOS,
Yealink.
Jabra? Or are you just sticking to the phones? I'm
Just
talking the whole everything.
The phones and the MTR Androids.
Yeah.
All of those manufacturers will be and have been creating firmware that will work with this new platform, and that's what they're working on, and that's what we're super excited to have released sometime in the future.
So this seems like one of those deals where it's gonna be some work, but next year at this time, let's say, it's gonna be like just reap the rewards.
It's going to be work. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a little bit scary because this is a big change. It's a brand new platform. It's almost like when we took all the devices from Android 9 to Android 11 in one firmware update. That was scary too. So this one's on that level. we're not pushing this to anybody like automatically.
Microsoft's not forcing it on anyone.
I just want to be very clear about this. This won't get automatically installed on any devices.
Unless you have Teams Admin Center set to automatically update.
No, not even that.
Oh, really?
Not as of yet.
Okay. I mean, it's still a work in progress.
I mean, it may change, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if I was allowed to say that. So
No,
scratch that.
but can't you set Teams Admin Center to automatically update firmwares? So if
You can.
let's say Audio Codes releases a new firmware with AOSP and I have that auto update, wouldn't I just get that one day?
This is a special update, and
Oh.
the decision on that one probably hasn't been fully made yet.
Okay.
So I don't know. I can't.
All right. So read the Message Center post.
Yes, keep up with the Message Center post because it's going to keep getting updated like week after week. Start looking at it now and look at it every week from now until a couple months from now.
Slightly switching. Have you done anything with a Copilot in Teams Phone?
I don't think so.
Scott, have you? Come here, Scott, real quick. Scott Rendell, everybody.
Welcome back. Hey, it's good to be here. Yeah, in fact, we just did a session talking about it. Hello.
Up. I just.
I'm on.
Eric, welcome to Michael's
there we go.
Magical Mysteries show, where I just randomly bring people over and I randomly just call
you,
people
yeah.
in. This is, Eric's
There we go.
literally
There-
running
there-
around, and now he's got to move a camera. There we go.
Yep. Oh, you want to get closer to Michael? Oh,
I absolutely want to get closer to
yeah,
you.
yeah, definitely. Okay, there we go. Change the mic.
There we go. Wow.
I
That's
think we look better out of focus.
that's like a '70s magical mystery. Like, did you have the blue dot or the yellow dot?
I did yellow.
I did the blue,
Yeah, okay.
but I took the red pill.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was told not to. I said, yeah, don't take the red one.
All right. Well, good talking to you. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Back to Tracy. Okay. So Teams Phone Copilot. There's a Copilot thing in Teams Phone.
Yeah, so now when you make phone calls, both PSTN and peer-to-peer, you can have Copilot transcribe and go back historically and ask it questions.
So the Copilot bot or whatever is joining the call?
Yeah, so just like in a meeting, you just click Copilot, and it will. Because it's a recording, right? If it's a PSTN call, it will say your call is now being recorded, and then then you can start asking Copilot questions at the end. It stores in your history, so you'll see the little Copilot icon in your phone history, and you can go back and say, what did I ask? What was I talking about in this call? After all, so hey, guess what? You don't have to take notes in your phone calls anymore.
So it's a speech to text, real-time speech to
Real
text
time.
thing.
Yep.
And so during the phone call, then it'll summarize. I can ask Copilot to summarize the meeting.
Yep.
I can ask Copilot whatever the hell I can.
So
whatever
I do a
can ask.
demo and I talk about my work history briefly, and then
What is your work history?
it's long,
who are
long
you?
and boring.
So who are you? You just were sitting
I
there.
just showed up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what do you do?
I'm a partner solution architect,
For
Microsoft.
okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was a given. Mike closer. I'm a
Mike
partner
closer
solution.
or-
Mike closer. Michael closer. So, yeah, partner solution architect, Microsoft.
And so this Teams, Mike closer. This Teams phone thingy, is that live?
Yes, it is. Went live at Enterprise Connect actually.
And Teams Premium license required, or what's required?
Nothing. Just a
Nothing.
Copilot license.
Just a Copilot.
Yeah,
So
just
it's
your
like
standard M365 Copilot license will cover it, and yeah, it's great.
You've used it.
Yes, I have. I don't have to take notes anymore.
Who
I
takes
can't read my own handwriting.
who takes notes? Oh, that too. Who takes notes in the first place?
Now with Copilot, I don't think anybody does.
I never have before.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, it was a problem.
Anything else you want to talk about Teams Phone and Copilot?
Tell them about the video that you showed in your session where it was doing the consultative transfer with the Copilot.
That was cool. Yeah,
cool.
Thank you for remembering that and for attending my session. So yeah, there's
so
this.
she was the one.
She was. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So so now you can do a consultative transfer with Copilot turned on.
All right. What's a consultative transfer? I just hit like transfer and I dial some
No, I
extension.
don't have
I
time
hang up,
to
right?
teach you everything. So sorry, but yeah. So it's a transfer,
Right.
right? Okay, you can initiate it in chat, or you initiate it in chat, and you're bringing another person in, right, within your tenant.
It's a transfer.
Right, to transfer, right? But now Copilot will send the summary automatically if it's on for the call. So you don't have to sit there and go, well, I've got Michael on the call. He wants to talk about consultative transfers, and I don't have to explain all that, right? Because they'll get a summary of the transcript right away.
Is that
So
done
it's
automatically, or do you have to like tell Copilot to do
No,
it, or
when you-
does
when you transfer-
Copilot just jumps in and says,
Yeah.
"Here's a chat"?
Yeah,
and
when you
it's
do the
transfer?
consultative transfer, yeah, it's right there.
That's kind of hot.
It is.
Is that the new hotness?
It's I don't know if it's it's probably the newest, yeah.
Okay.
Although the loop thing was pretty cool.
What's the loop thing?
I don't know. I just saw it in the keynote.
Oh, in
Pretty
the
cool.
keynote. Okay,
Yeah,
not like I thought there was a team
No,
loop
there's
thing.
no, it's just
Okay.
a loop thing, but whatever. Yeah. No,
Well,
sounds
thanks for
good.
jumping in. I'm done.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm done with you now.
Okay, I'll leave. Thanks.
Can I talk to you again in about an hour?
Yeah,
Or
about
can you
an
talk
hour,
to
yeah.
me in about an hour? All right.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
30 minutes.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, Eric,
Thanks
please
for
please
joining us.
readjust the camera. All right. I don't have notes, so what do we talk about now?
Well, I'm sure I got a topic.
Okay, what's the topic?
So, because I always talk about Intune, and then all of my information ends up talking about how conditional access is going to be your problem, always. Okay? I just want to reinforce, when you are dealing with Teams devices, it is still a problem. It's going to be a problem. You need to have your conditional access configured properly for the Teams devices. Please read the documentation. Go to Michael's YouTube channel, watch our videos, especially the Can You Stump Her ones. Look for the jumping deer. You'll see what I mean. And yes, but still, like, conditional access, I just want to reinforce, it is not going to change.
Okay, so with the AOSP thing, conditional access, it's only an Intune change. It's not a conditional access change?
Correct. It's not a conditional
Okay.
access change. It is just an Intune change. So whatever you have been taught for conditional access so far from me or Michael or anybody else who talks about conditional access is still the way it's going to work.
Right, and so you're bringing this as a highlight because in your job you get a lot of escalations that point towards conditional access as the issue?
100%. Yes. Yes. We constantly tell people, you have unsupported settings in your conditional access for the Teams devices. Here is the chart of what is unsupported, which settings are unsupported. Hey, look, there's the deer. Yes. So yeah, it's still adding extra security. We are Microsoft. We're going to secure the crap out of your cloud and your phones and MTRs.
So you're up for, we never finished, there's still a season cliffhanger that we need to film for Can You Stump Her? I was waiting for AOSP to go live to do it. Are you still up for it?
Yeah. After
That way it's like, okay, this is the way it kind of was, and now here's like the new hotness, and let's see if I can break my phone in such a way that you can or can't fix it. I was going to give 30 minutes this time. If you don't know, we did a game show of, I broke my, I would break an Android device and then challenge Traci to fix it in like 10 minutes. And then they got progressively more difficult, and I give her 15 minutes. The next one I want to go like 30 minutes because I'm going to be diabolical.
Lovely. I'm super excited about that. Seriously, I am.
All right.
And as soon as it goes GA, I'm going to be dropping blog articles. I'm going to be starting training sessions for the whole entire world. And yes, we will do that like first.
You're bringing pure fire.
Excellent.
Jimmy, what's your favorite Copilot prompt this week?
What was it? I did just have. My favorite one this week that I actually used was, please explain X to me, and I won't sort of get into.
That's called that. Is that like ecstasy, like MDMA?
No,
please explain X to me.
explain
Okay.
Topic X.
Oh, Twitter. Please explain Twitter to
Please
me.
explain topic X to me.
We're not going
as
to let him
if-
finish the sentence.
As if I was a 5-year-old.
Oh, really?
It's unbelievable. It actually takes and it simplifies some complicated topics and things like that. So I did use that earlier this week.
Explain it to me as a 5-year-old.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of that we had a prompt off.
What about
earlier.
conditional access? Please explain conditional access to me as if I
As
was.
if I were a 5-year-old. Can I ask, like, why don't mommy and daddy love each other anymore as a 5-year-old?
You're charting on. Untalkable.
you like know the answer there because Copilot doesn't really know who mommy and daddy are.
Leave the camera on him over there.
So in your LinkedIn profile, Jimmy,
Yes.
you've got like prompt something or other
Right.
written in there.
It's funny.
What are you doing there?
Well,
Why'd you put that
Okay,
there?
so a year ago, when we announced Copilot, when we did a whole bunch of things with large language models and things like that, myself and a few colleagues and others and things, we really undertook the opportunity to say, all right, if Microsoft is going here with all these things, let's be the experts here at this because it's such a new technology.
Very new.
It's so interesting in what the possibilities are with this. But it was so new that you really didn't have people to bounce ideas off of. That you didn't have the ability to actually ask, hey, what about this? Go over here. And
There was no historic institutional knowledge. It was all being created.
One of the things that I saw, and I still think this is a category of a job that will become sometime in the future. It's an AI prompt expert. You know, we use Copilot. You and I have talked, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into Copilot and everything for you, Traci.
You're going to teach me how to do Copilot.
We're going to start
for sure.
to learn a little bit about this because there is a frustration when you're starting to learn Copilot about how do I actually get the answers that I'm seeking or I'm looking for. Because when you just type in, okay, tell me about this or something like that, you may get a wrong answer. And guess what? You're going to get influenced in this thing doesn't know what it's talking about, and I'm going away, and I hate this.
I'm going back to Bing.
Correct. So there, I sort of put in a header, and people have picked up on it, AI prompt expert. And why am I putting that AI prompt expert? I'm not self-proclaiming, hey, I'm an expert of everything that's there, but I am somebody that you can bounce ideas off of, that you can come and you can say, hey, how would I actually phrase something like this? One of the things that my colleague Michelle Bauman, when we were bouncing things off of each other, he actually asks his prompts to, hey, can you do this, can you do that, and everything else. Ask me questions before replying so that the AI can actually ask probing questions about what do you want to do with this, what do you want to do with that.
I just have to say, Michelle Bowman, you're the best if you're watching.
He's at least pretty good. He's at least pretty good.
So we started to see, all right, we can collaboratively, and he and I can take hours and just go in and say, all right, we want to brainstorm a topic about Teams rooms. We want to brainstorm, we're going to do this technical boot camp. Let's talk about the actual things that we're going to do and just start brainstorming. And we can have Copilot as our assistant, and we can bounce ideas off of Copilot together for hours at a time, just using prompts of, please tell me this, please tell me that, and so on and so forth. And those prompting sessions that we have start to teach you what works and what doesn't work. Because again, this is all new territory for all of us. Jared Spataro here at Microsoft does a great job of actually, hey, I'm going to give you an inspiration of what you can do and things like that. And he takes things like, search my Teams messages and my email and chat and tell me, am I on the right priorities according to my managers and my guidelines that I have for my role here at Microsoft. So there's different things that you can do, but you need that inspiration because AI, Copilot, and things like that, they're not things that are come to you. They're things that you have to go out and you have to use.
So you and Michelle are doing all this stuff in your own little bubble.
Correct.
It'd be nice if you shared it somehow, maybe on a YouTube channel.
We have a couple of things that we do. We do have a YouTube channel where we put it out.
What? It's almost like I lobbed one up for you.
I know.
It's like here's the bump and you get the spike.
So we actually have it under a channel called Teams Room Tech Talk, and one of the things that we're starting to do is the AI prompt of the week. And Michelle does a great job. He takes the video. There's a topic that we go through. He shows you different ways that you can actually use this. Not only does he show you the way, we also have the prompt in the
description, the show notes.
The description of it as well, so that you can try it and you can see what it returns to you. But the idea is to inspire people, and the idea is to say, okay, here's a prompt that you can use, here's an idea that you can use, and here's something that, and he shows on the video, this is how it worked for me.
Yeah, when I did the training when I was in Australia, I actually showed one of Michelle's prompts of the week, and that was basically he asked the Copilot, look at all of the documents I've written in my Word documents, my email, and figure out my tone of voice, and save that to a different Word document.
A style guide.
Yep, a style guide.
Yep.
And then in the future, hey, I need to write an email to my boss discussing this in the style of, and then link to that Word document. And so your mannerisms, the way you type, if it's lighthearted or extremely professional, it'll pick that up and write kind of in your voice.
Correct. And I've told people, there's a lot of people that, I'm very active on social media. All of us are active on social media doing things and things like that. There are people that are sort of intimidated by posting on social media. They're not there and everything like that. But I always tell people, if you want to start on social media and you're afraid to sort of, okay, I'm going to put my own things out there, you can actually use different things, different large language models like Copilot, and say, I want to sound like Michael. I want to sound like Jimmy. I want to sound like this. And can you write something on the topic like Jimmy would, or so on and so forth? That may get people to actually start posting their own styles. And at least it's a jumping point so that they can go in. You know, people, we get asked all the, you know, I know that as an MVP, we all get asked all the time, what do you write about? And the truth is, if I get asked a question, I'm going to write about it. Because if somebody asks me that question, that's a blog post. And I know that if I'm getting this one question from somebody, there's a good chance that question is going to come up again. And for the next question, I can just send them the blog. I don't have to write the whole thing out again and everything.
And one of the things I did, and there's this May festival happening in Tampa Bay, and I'm a pretty good author, especially on technical side, but I don't write flowery, exciting, pump it up documents. It's just not like full of adjectives. So for this May Fest, I wrote up, you know, hey everybody, we're going to do whatever on May whatever 17th. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And then I said, Copilot, can you rewrite this to be energetic, exciting, and motivational for people to come to? And I pasted in what I wrote. Bro, it's like, there's no way I would have written this, but I read it. I'm like, that is so much more energetic, so much more engaging. And as somebody who would be reading this off the street, I'm like, this seems like an interesting thing. I'm going to consider going to this event as opposed to my fact-based writing. Because, you know, I'm a technical writer, so it's fact-based. I can't write these. You're going to dance your socks off to the exciting music of Manny Down. I'm like, I'm never going to say you're going to dance your socks off. I'm going to be like, the wonderful Manny Down is going to play awesome music. That's how I would write that. And that's not as exciting as you're going to dance your socks off to the exciting music of whatever. So that's just,
you know,
one of the ways
we're in
that
the
you-
time, you know, Scott, Traci, we're in the time of Microsoft of our connects.
Oh, yes.
If
Write
you
my,
are
write
not
my,
using-
write my annual review.
If you are not using Copilot to help you
That is so
generate
brilliant.
your connect, you are missing a tremendous opportunity here. Now,
A light just went on Traci's
I wish
head.
I would have thought of that. I wish I would have knew about that. Because,
That
yeah,
is-
I need help.
correct. That is not to say that this is going to do it for you. But the truth is, I can give it bullet points, and I can, you know, our connects are
That's
not.
how I write.
Correct.
My Connect looks like all bullet points.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
Yes. Yes. But these are the kind of things that we have to inspire everybody to sort of think about, because again, it's not something that's going to, oh, you're doing your Connect? Let me give you Copilot to help you write your Connect. I'd love for it to just show up so that it says, oh, this is here. But the truth is we have to think about it, which means we have to go to it, and we can do it. And we can get rid of a lot of the bullet points and just smooth out a lot of
There's
that writing.
a lot of levels to what you just said about writing your for you don't know Microsoft to Connect, it's your annual review, your self-evaluation. First problem is people don't like writing about themselves. Some people don't. I'm like,
I'm one of those people.
yeah, I
I
think
can't
Jimmy, you're
do it.
one too,
Yeah.
Traci.
Nobody
I don't
likes
like
it.
blowing my own horn.
That's not true. There are
There are people who do it
significant
really
amount
well.
of people at Microsoft that are very good at this.
Yeah. So one,
They might not do the work.
you could prompt
Very good about it.
prompt Copilot like, hey, please write it for me, because that way I'm not like, oh, should I say it that way? I don't know how to say it. Copilot, you take care of it. And then two, Copilot, review the last 365 days of my Teams messages, email, and files created this year, and give me a summary of what I did this year.
Correct.
And then, like, it's just going to go through. It's going to AI. It's just going to go. Man, there was a lot of talk in my world about a tech summit in Australia and in Asia. I'm going to bring that up. Mike, you attended Comms vNext. It might not get it all right, but it's like, oh my God, I forgot about that call I had in my world with a customer, and they ended up buying 20 widgets, and I helped with that. I forgot about that because that was 9-10 months ago.
But think about this. All right. So I have this sort of relationship with OKRs and all the different guidelines that we have, and you've got to get this done and everything else. But as a manager, if I give you clear guidance of this is what I want you to accomplish this quarter, right? I actually set up on my calendar every Friday. I have an hour, and I actually run a prompt that says, can you look at my calendar, my Teams messages, and everything else? If I have clear guidance from my manager, I can then point that prompt at my goals, and I can ask Copilot, does this align with my goals?
Right.
And it can reply back, and it can say, this does align with your goals, or oh no, it seems like you did a little bit more.
Spent a lot of time this week on something that doesn't align.
Correct. That does not align with your goals. Maybe we should refocus you and things like that. Those are prompts that come back to me because there are times, I'm gold on Teams rooms, but a lot of times for stretch initiatives and things like that, I'm doing Copilot. I'm doing, I met with the Loop guys today. I want to help them do some of the Loop stuff that they're doing and learn that. Those are stretch goals. They would never align with what my manager has as a goal for me. But it's a learning opportunity. It's something like that. But every Friday I have an hour calendar block, and I have the prompts inside of that calendar block.
Copy and paste.
I just copy and paste it, and I run it. And it helps me align with my head of, I haven't done enough for Teams Room this week because I was on Loop, and I was on Copilot, and I was on all of this.
Right.
So if your manager can be clear, and this is your goals, and this is what I want you to accomplish, you two together are unstoppable.
Similar to that point, I just got Copilot on my work account. The very first thing I asked was, "Hey, what's new with our products? What's new this week?" And it gave me a lot of things. I'm going to ask it again when I go back because I've been on the road pretty much 5 straight weeks. I've learned that Copilot ends up being a super search. So right now you're looking for like, hey, Jimmy, I know Jimmy sent me an attachment. Was that in Word? Was that in Outlook? Was that in Teams? Was it in my personal mail? Was it whatever? So I just go, hey, can you find the document about Jeopardy that Jimmy sent me? And it'll search across everything. It'll search into your Word documents, and it might even go, oh, because maybe I downloaded and I forgot where I put it. It might go, oh, hey, I also found a Jeopardy thing that references Jimmy in this directory of OneDrive. It can search all of it as opposed to Outlook, no hits, Teams, no hits, OneDrive, no hits, where is it?
Yeah.
Copilot will use a little more intelligence and search across all of those for you, so I don't have to manually search in each one.
And that is a popular use case is searching for documents.
Just simple search, but it's smarter.
It's relatable to all of us, and it really does help in that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I had somebody send me a chat message a couple days ago and say, hey, I put a note in your Word document, period. That was it. What Word document are you talking about? I have no clue, no context. Like, I've written a lot of Word documents this past week. I have no clue. What is he talking about? And so I bet Copilot, I could have probably asked,
Traci, you're coming
what
on board.
Word documents has this person been involved with me, or something? I don't know how to ask things. I don't know prompting very well, but maybe.
Well, listen,
I think
you've
you're
had
hitting
an
on the right path.
adversarial relationship with the Copilot, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to do that. But that's why that's in my LinkedIn profile. That's also the role of MVP is we help.
Yeah.
We help. So it's in our DNA to do everything that we do.
So Traci, Jimmy just said, and I did remember as we were talking, you're not the big Copilot rah-rah person that Jimmy definitely is, and I kind of am. What's your journey been as someone who's still trying to learn and figure out how this applies to your job? How's that been going for you?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And like a lot of the time, I want to experience what you all have experienced where Copilot is helping you do your job more efficiently. I love efficiency. I strive for it. And lately, over the past couple of years, I've lost some due to processes and blah, blah, blah. Don't care. So don't need to talk about that. But Copilot and me, it's not helping me. I want it to write my PowerPoint for me, but it can't because the content hasn't been written by anybody yet because I haven't wrote it, so the internet doesn't know what I need it to know. So that's been a lot of my struggle, but even the content I've already produced for my past sessions, I want to reformat it, maybe make it sound better. I don't know how to do that either. So it's just, I tell it use this PowerPoint and answer these questions and create these test questions, and it spits out crap for me.
But that sort of goes towards, you talk about PowerPoint and everything else, and I've watched a lot of people with PowerPoint Copilot sort of launch PowerPoint and try to have PowerPoint Copilot do everything for them. I'll give you an example. I watched somebody actually open PowerPoint and say, can you create a slide deck of 10 slides on how to deploy Microsoft Teams rooms, right? As a topic. Okay, that's
Okay.
a prompt that we can use. Is PowerPoint the right one to do that in? It's probably not. Why? PowerPoint is a visual device, a visual program that is going to create slides for you. Now, what's the right workflow for that? The right workflow for that is probably let's go into Word. Let's go ahead and ask Word, can you create a 2-page document out of an outline of a plan to deploy Microsoft Teams rooms and give it headers, timelines, everything that's expected to it. Now, inside of Word, it'll create that document, and I can go and I can edit that document, and then I can go to PowerPoint and I say, can you make a 10-page slide deck out of this Word document? Because now PowerPoint's going to be able to grab all of my headers, all of the information that I perfected inside of that Word document, and be much more effective in its goal of, okay, I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to make the picture over here.
I think that we need to also focus on why. Why are you doing that with Copilot? I would never do that with Copilot
But there's
because that's
plenty of
not my
people that
job.
do.
So can you tell me how to do, like give me a scenario that is what I actually do and then show it to me in Copilot style. We don't have a lot of that kind of training.
Not yet.
So I think that's where we need to get to.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming to the end. I've been told you got like 2 minutes left. Start with you, Jimmy. What are you working on? What's coming up? Are you going to be at any other events? You got any web streams or just maybe a weekly YouTube show or something?
Every Friday, myself, Mary Corrigan, and of course you and others behind the scenes, we do a show called Selling Microsoft Teams Rooms. This is the TikTok of Teams Rooms, as I pitched it very early on. I don't ask for anything more than 10 minutes of your time. We will review and we will recap the week of Microsoft Teams Rooms, everything that's new and everything that's shiny out there for you, and give you links to the show at smtr.info.
I thought it was smtr.show. Is that smtr.info?
smtr.show, correct.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
Yeah, well, I know
trying
my
to
own.
correct you. I just
Yeah, well, I know my
I
own
may have had a
show.
wrong one in my head. Okay. smtr.show.
So we do this show. That's every Friday. Also, we'll be going out to InfoComm, and the week after InfoComm,
Nice.
we'll be doing a technical boot camp. The technical boot camp is going to be the predecessor to another technical badge. So we'll be working on that very soon.
And we can just follow you on LinkedIn, Jimmy Vaughan on LinkedIn, VAUGHAN, and you'll post all the selling
Everything
teams
goes on.
rooms, where to meet you at InfoComm.
One thing that
camps.
I do promise on LinkedIn, I'm not going to post, hey, here's a picture, stuff like that, and things like
do
that. I
that.
want to post and I want to teach people on LinkedIn. Twitter's where I post all my nonsense pictures.
Tracy, what do you have going on? You got. It sounds like a lot of stuff about to launch once it goes live. Anything else going on other than gearing up to be the great proponent of AOSP and how to apply that? Anything else?
I was invited to speak at the Fireside Chat in
Oh, nice.
July, and that's the only thing I have actually scheduled. In my mind, I've got a whole lot of other things that are gonna get scheduled.
All right.
And I hope during the Fireside Chat that I'll have announcements I can make.
And best way to follow you, especially for people who are into the AOSP Intune thing? LinkedIn. Tracy Herr
Follow
on
me on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. I always post my blogs. I post upcoming training sessions and whatever else is going on.
Yep, same with me on LinkedIn. I'll be at InfoComm and some vendor visits, and that's it. I think we're ending right on the dot. So thank you everyone for Michael's Magical Mystery Hour, and see you guys around soon. Different parts of the world.
Thank you, everyone.